Hello there, good people. Welcome to It's a Shaw Thing. I'm your host, Rob Shaw, here to talk a little fantasy football. It's Monday, so time for those moving up and moving in the wrong direction. We start with one moving in the right direction. He's back, baby. Derek Anderson, big numbers once again against the Cincinnati Bengals. He threw for 269 passing yards, scored a touchdown passing, scored a touchdown rushing, threw just one interception, which we could certainly accept from Anderson. Best of all, this Bengals defense isn't that bad these days. This is actually a performance worth noting. Derek Anderson, if you have Mark Sanchez or Kerry Collins on your fantasy team, consider dropping them and picking up Mr. Anderson. Next up, a player moving in the wrong direction. I just mentioned him, Kerry Collins of the Tennessee Titans. It's not that he's performing so badly. His fantasy numbers weren't all that awful this weekend. He did throw 2 interceptions, but he had 284 passing yards, had a touchdown throwing. Well, the bad news is that this is a team that's now 0-4. If they don't turn things around soon, they're going to have to look to the future, which means Vince Young will get a chance to play. Now, keep in mind, they're also playing against the Colts this weekend, so yikes, it looks like they might have to look to the future and play Vince Young, which means Collins would lose all of the little fantasy value that he has right now. We go back to Cleveland for a player moving in the right direction, a wide receiver, Mohamed Masakawi, a young rookie coming out of the University of Georgia. Second-round pick was fantastic. 8 receptions, 148 receiving yards in this one. Now, keep in mind, coming into this game, he had just 2 receptions for 31 yards, so it might have just been a lucky game for him, but it's something worth noting. This is a guy who could get maybe 50, 60 yards each week. Braylon Edwards was missing because the defense concentrated on him in the secondary, particularly having a safety basically mimic everything that he did. So it might just be about this past weekend's performance, but at the same time, as I said, a second-round pick, Masakawi might have a nice future indeed. Next up, a wide receiver moving in the wrong direction, and he's averaging 2 receptions a game. He's got 8 receptions so far this year. Talk about Terrell Owens of the Buffalo Bills. Things aren't working for him. Maybe Tony Romo wouldn't have been pretty good this year having him throw to him, because I'll tell you, Trent Edwards simply is not getting the job done. T.O. not a big part of the offense. What offense, you might ask? Not much going on there in Buffalo, and it doesn't look good for Mr. T.O. He's got 1 touchdown this year. He had 10 last year, 15 the year before. Yeah, he's in decline. Things aren't good for Terrell Owens. At least he's got a good future in reality TV. All right, next up we go to running back Rashard Mendenhall with a breakout weekend. Now, Willie Parker is out because of a toe injury, so don't think for a second that Mendenhall is going to get about 100 yards every week, and we don't know that at all. But what he did prove is that he's got a little something there, and also if Parker is out, it's not Mwelde Moore, it's going to be Mendenhall. So now on, you know, whenever Parker out, you start Mendenhall. Now, running back moving in the wrong direction, Darren McFadden did something very impressive. He actually ran in the wrong direction this weekend. 6 carries, -3 rushing yards from Mr. McFadden. The Raiders' offense is horrific. Jamarcus Russell had no fantasy value. Now you might be able to say the same thing for McFadden. Justin Fargas was forced to get involved in this one. He led the team in carries. Yikes, things aren't good for Darren McFadden. Drop him if you have him. You might want to look for some other options. Jerome Harrison, let's keep on going with Cleveland. He's a guy you might want to pick up. Well, my friends, that's all for now. See you tomorrow. Until then, enjoy some Monday Night Football.